Hey everybody, TRAKing Pat again, and this is the second segment for the ProtoTRAK RLX. Today we are using the 1630RX lathe. We are using our 4-position turret, and we're doing ID work. So from the first segment you saw how to make the program to do an inside cycle, do the grooving, and then do the threading. What we're going to do now is show you how to do all of the tool setup, and it is a bit different than some of our previous models. And therefore, every time we do something a little bit different, we like to make sure you see it on video, okay? So here I am, I've completed my programming sequence. Next thing I'm going to do is go to the tool table. And in my tool table, you'll notice that up here, my part 0 is not set. I've got 3 tools in my program, and I have all the description in here. But what I don't have is the actual points of where they're supposed to be, right? You'll also notice that there's a place for the tool library, but I have no tools in my library yet. And so I'm going to explain this whole process. So first things first, I'm going to go in here where my first tool is. You'll notice it's highlighted where it says not set. And I'm going to push this tool setup. That draws me the description and tells me that I have to touch off the X from a known value. I've got a hole in here right now that's 2 inches 437, okay? So normally I would take a cut and I would measure each part. I'm going to take a cut, measure to make sure I'm in the right place, and then from there on I'll probably just get it really close and make sure. I know you guys will be able to follow along. So here I'm going to turn my spindle on, okay? And what I like to do when I show people how I'm going to do this, I generally like to switch first to the DRO mode because the default for the RPM is 300, and that's not fast enough. So I'm going to change it to 1000, okay? And then I'm going to go to my tool table and turn on my spindle. So here, it's asking for the X, so I'm just going to fly in here real quick. So right here, I've touched off my inside diameter. I'm just going to measure real quick to make sure I didn't miss anything, and I did not, okay? So just punch in that diameter, 2.4375, hit the set key, and then for the Z-axis, normally I'd turn it on to do all this, but I'm just going to eyeball it. It'll be close enough for what we're trying to show here, and it makes it easier for the videos. So I'm going to call that Z0. And when I push return, you'll notice up at the top now the part 0 is set, and it's set in green. It also tells me I'm using a library tool, which means that when I get done with this, all I have to do is add to the library, and there's my library tool, okay? Next thing I'm going to do is go to the second tool, which is my ID groove tool, and I'm going to move it away so that when I go into here and do the tool setup, it's going to remind me that I've got to index the turret, okay? So it tells me when you're ready, push go. So here's my second tool, right? And it shows me the picture of the grooving tool. And now I'm ready to set that up. So same thing, I would turn my spindle on. Same number. Right? And then my eyeball my Z. Z0. Push return. That tool is done. Add to the library. Third tool, move it away again. Push go. That indexes my turret the last time, shows me the picture, same thing. Same number again, 2.4375, right? And then eyeball the Z. Z0, and when I push return, all 3 of my program tools are set. All I have left to do is add that last one to the library. And then just also so you know how this thing really works. If I want to use a library tool without a program, right, then that's where I name my tools, and I'll name them like so. Let's say 101, and I can go all the way up to 199. So I'm just going to put them as 101, 102, and 103. And what that does is when I no longer have a tool number 1, 2, and 3 because there's no program, this way I'll have the ability to still use them in the DRO. So this all looks good here. I'm going to close the flyout window, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's just move that away a little bit first. Let's go to the setup mode, and in the setup mode, I have the ability to look at my tool path. And when I look at my tool path, let's just move this thing over a little, make it a little bigger, so you can see how it rapids in and it bores away the material. Goes home, changes tools, comes back in, goes to the position first, comes inside the bore, does all of the groove work, goes back to that position for clearance, goes home, changes tools, comes in, does the threading, goes back to the position, goes home, and it's complete. Another thing I want to show you is how verify works in here, because when I go into verify this time, I'm going to look at, first of all, defining my stock. So the 1 1/4 for depth is correct. Z0 is correct. The hole diameter is correct. It's actually 2.375. Okay, and the actual diameter of the part is 5 inches. So when I hit return and go to make part, you're going to see in here that it'll do all of the work and it looks correct, but it's kind of hard to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the section and turn that and cut it in half. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to go to a side view, and if I hit it twice, now I can see the interior of the part, right? And if I take 2 fingers, I can actually rotate it so I can see all the work. So even though it's 180 degrees from the way I'm making it, I can see that everything looks correct. Here's all my threads, there's my groove, there's my final bore. So this will help you to make sure that you got everything in the right place, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is just hit exit, say yes, okay? And at this point, I've got all the tools set up, I've got all of the program ready to go, and in our next segment, we're going to go and actually make the piece part so you can follow along and see all the work get done. So please see me in the next video. Thanks for watching. Forward! Hey everybody, it's TRAKing Pat out here on the links enjoying a little free time after a long day of work. As usual, we're hearing that a lot of the videos are helping you guys out there make a little bit more money. I hope that's the case, and I hope you take that extra money and a little extra time and get out and hit the links yourself. Of course, I'm out here having a good time right now, but next week I'll be back in there doing the next video. We love it when you watch them. We really like it when you give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, push this button over here. And of course, if you'd like to watch the next video, just push the one over here. I'll see you either on the links or I'll see you in the next video. As always, don't forget to keep on tracking. Man, I gotta go find that ball.